Come to the South, do some dumb shit, get smoked, and next thing you know, everybody looking around. They got all the guns in the South, bro. They do. They laws is different. They do. Shit, Texas got defensive property. You break in my car, I get to shoot you. That don't exist nowhere else.
Lul Tim was once one of the most hated names in Chicago, and now word's flying that he might have been caught slipping in Texas last night. The wild part, the street's been whispering about this moment for years. Ever since that tragic night in 2020 when he allegedly took King Von's life, Lul Tim turned himself into one of the most talked about names in hip-hop. After that, he started trolling online like nothing happened, acting way too confident for someone with that kind of heat on him. Let's break it all down. Lul Tim, real name Timothy Leeks, is a street dude straight out of Savannah, Georgia. He didn't just beef with a few people. He became public enemy #1 to almost the entire Chicago rap scene and all of Von's fans. Thing is, Tim wasn't even supposed to be caught up in that mess. But when you roll with Quando Rondo, you gotta be ready for whatever smoke comes with it. No exceptions. Growing up in Savannah shaped him fast. Down there, it's survival of the toughest. You either handle your business or end up another story on the block. People in his hood knew Tim as someone who never folded. He had that mindset like, I'd rather go out standing tall than live scared. Once he linked up with Quando Rondo's crew, he became that go-to guy who was always ready, always strapped, always alert, always ready to ride for his team no matter what went down. Quando Rondo needed a dude like Lul Tim by his side, especially with all the smoke he had coming from different gangs. Things got even hotter once that NBA YoungBoy drama started catching fire. But everything flipped for Tim on November 6th, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. That was the night he made the move that would change his whole life and paint a giant target on his back from one of the hardest blocks in Chicago. What was supposed to be just another chill night out turned into a moment that defined him forever. The wildest part? Tim probably didn't even know who King Von really was when it all went down. He just saw his boy Quando getting pressed and reacted instantly, doing what any real one would do when his homie's in danger. He moved on instinct and tried to protect his people, no questions asked. But that split-second decision lit a fuse that exploded into a street war. Without even realizing it, Tim had just picked a fight with one of the most feared crews in Chicago history, OBlock. And this beef, it goes way deeper than just that night in Atlanta. It's rooted in months of tension between King Von's circle and Quando Rondo's camp. Von had been dissing Quando for a while, and every time their paths crossed, the air got thicker. King Von wasn't your average rapper either. He was OBlock royalty. Coming up under Chief Keef and Lil Durk, Von carried the kind of mix, real street background and raw rap skill, that made him feel untouchable. King Von was really feeding the whole block with his music. He was making millions while still keeping that same street energy that made even the toughest dudes salute him. But when Lul Tim took that all away with just a few pulls of the trigger outside that hookah lounge, it wasn't just another loss. It was like OBlock lost their golden boy, their moneymaker, their most respected soldier, all in one night.
Yeah, Rick and Sean, according to GBI, rapper King Von and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot where chaos ensued.
The pain ran deep because Von wasn't just a rapper to them. He was the face of everything OBlock stood for: loyalty, hustle, respect, and power. Ever since that night, OBlock members been locked in, plotting on how to get their get back. There's no letting that slide when it comes to King Von. Word on the street is they've been watching, waiting, and hunting for any sign of Tim slipping. And they're not shy about it. They've made it loud and clear. This isn't over until they feel that revenge hit. But this ain't just some regular street politics. This is personal. The crazy part? OBlock really tried to make that move in 2022. Reports say 3 OBlock members, Munna Mary, Switch Ion, and Timoni, got locked up in Atlanta for allegedly stealing a car while trying to track down Lul Tim. That's how serious it got. These dudes were so locked in on catching Tim that they were ready to risk everything, even their own freedom, just for one shot at payback. That whole arrest situation proved just how locked in OBlock was about getting revenge. They weren't just online talking tough, they were really out there risking everything to stand on King Von's name. Getting caught only showed how hard it is to move on Lul Tim, but at the same time, it proved they weren't giving up either. But here's where things start getting real disrespectful. And this is what's been fueling OBlock ever since. Instead of laying low after taking out someone as respected as King Von, Lul Tim went and did the complete opposite. He started trolling, dropping tracks, and mocking Von's death like it was some kind of game. That's where he crossed the line. Instead of keeping quiet and moving smart, Tim was out here talking reckless in songs, saying how he smoked Von and how OBlock can't touch him. That level of disrespect had the whole city shaking their heads. The wildest part? He wasn't even trying to defend what happened. He was celebrating it. Every lyric, every post, every video came off like he was proud of what went down. That's exactly the kind of energy that eats at OBlock, because they took Von's loss personal, real personal. Then Tim dropped that track, Shots at the Party, where he bragged about what happened in Atlanta and made it clear he wasn't scared of any kind of payback. He was basically telling the world, yeah, I did that and I'm still outside. That's the kind of talk that lights up a war in the streets. What made it even worse was how Tim kept using King Von's name like a punchline in almost every song. In his track, Who Wants Smoke, he talked about how Von got hit and said he's ready for whatever OBlock plans to bring next. He even took it to social media, posting captions that clearly referenced that night, knowing full well it would get under their skin. That type of bold disrespect, that's exactly what keeps the tension boiling with no sign of cooling down. This non-stop trolling is exactly what's been driving OBlock off the edge. It's one thing to stand your ground or defend yourself, but it's a whole different level of disrespect to keep taunting the people still grieving. Lul Tim been acting like King Von's death is some kind of trophy, bragging, laughing, and turning it into content. And that's what's got OBlock members so fired up. They've been ready to risk it all just to get to him. What makes this wild is how Tim flipped the whole situation into a kind of psychological game. From a survival point of view, it's actually pretty calculated. By staying loud and in the spotlight, constantly talking about what went down, he's making it harder for anyone to slide on him without eyes watching. It's like he's hiding in plain sight. But at the same time, every move he makes keeps the fire burning hotter and hotter. The street's been watching every second of this drama, and the reactions show just how deep this beef cuts. King Von's fans across the country are locked in, waiting for that karma moment, hoping Tim finally faces consequences. Each time he drops a new diss track or throws up another disrespectful post, Von supporters flood his comments saying stuff like he's gonna get what's coming to him. It's a non-stop cycle of hate, hype, and revenge talk. And it's not just fans jumping in. Other rappers been sliding into the mix too. Lil Durk, who was like a big brother to Von, been throwing slick shots at Tim and Quando Rondo's whole camp. You can hear it in tracks like Piss Me Off and Backdoor, bars so sharp that everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. Even though Durk never dropped any names directly, every lyric just added more tension to a feud that's already way past the point of no return. The Chicago rap scene been treating Lul Tim like he's straight up persona non grata. Even dudes who usually stay neutral in street beef been making it clear. They riding for Von's memory all the way. That's because King Von wasn't just respected in OBlock. His name carried love through the whole city. Meanwhile, Tim still got some backing from his own people down in Georgia, plus a few NBA Youngboy fans who see this as part of that ongoing war between Youngboy's crew and Chicago's side of the map. But let's be real, that support ain't nearly enough to shield him from the kind of pressure OBlock been applying. The social media side of this feud turned everything up to a whole new level. Every post, every lyric, every little caption gets dissected by fans like detectives looking for the next move. It's like the entire hip-hop world's been watching this story unfold live, waiting to see how it's all gonna play out. Then last night, the internet went crazy. Word started spreading fast that OBlock might have finally got their revenge. Twitter lit up with rumors that Lul Tim got caught lacking in Texas, shot multiple times after being tracked down by some supposed OBlock hitters. People were saying the crew had finally gave him that belt he'd been asking for. The buzz was wild, like everyone had been waiting for this moment. The way the story broke only made it more chaotic. It all started with one tweet from what looked like a credible page, and within minutes, that post was everywhere. Retweets, quote tweets, blogs. Nobody was fact-checking because the story sounded too real. Given how Tim been moving around from state to state lately, Texas did seem like a spot where he could have finally slipped up. And once that rumor hit the timeline, the streets couldn't stop talking. When the rumors hit, King Von's fans went insane. They really thought justice had finally been served. Tim's name was trending everywhere, and people were blasting Von's music, talking about how Von got his get back from the grave. The timeline was flooded with posts saying Lul Tim finally got what he deserved after years of disrespecting Von's memory. It was chaos. People started spreading wild stories, saying he got walked down while a King Von track was playing. like some kind of poetic revenge. As the hours passed, the story kept getting bigger and more dramatic. Some claimed it went down outside a club, others swore it happened at a gas station. But everyone agreed on one thing: OBlock had supposedly finished the job. The streets were convinced Tim was either gone or laid up in a Texas hospital fighting for his life. Von's fans were celebrating like it was a national holiday. They filled timelines with Von's photos, dropping captions like "Long live King Von" and "Justice served." Some even threw up crying, laughing emojis, showing just how hyped they were that Tim supposedly got his karma. The energy online was wild, almost eerie. People really believed it was over. But here's the catch: social media lies fast. You can't believe everything that goes viral, especially when it's tied to street beef. The internet loves a dramatic story, and when something sounds too perfect, it usually is. Nobody stopped to notice that not a single major news outlet had confirmed the shooting. That should have been the first red flag. Then, just when the whole internet was convinced Tim was done for, he popped up out of nowhere. No long post, no video, just one simple tweet, a hat emoji. That single emoji sent shockwaves through the timeline. It was like Tim was saying, "I'm still here," without even needing to use words. Anybody who knows how street social media works instantly caught the message. That hat emoji meant cap, as in fake. Lul Tim was basically saying the whole story was straight up nonsense, and he was alive, well, and still moving around like nothing happened. That single emoji crushed the hopes of thousands of King Von fans who thought they were finally getting their closure. Turns out, the entire story was born from a troll page on Twitter. Some random account made up the rumor about Tim getting shot in Texas, and within minutes, it spread like wildfire because people wanted it to be true. The page looked legit too. Real-looking profile pic, convincing bio. Everything about it screamed credibility. That's why so many people fell for it without question. This situation shows just how dangerous social media really is when it comes to street beef. False info travels faster than the truth, and when the streets react off lies, things can get deadly. Imagine if OBlock members had seen that post and believed Tim was already gone. They might have let their guard down completely. Or even worse, if they thought it was half true and tried to move off it, they could have ended up in some serious crossfire chasing a ghost target. So when Tim dropped that hat emoji, it wasn't just a statement, it was another round of trolling. He was basically laughing at everybody saying, "You can't touch me," without using a single word. It was slick, calculated, and perfectly timed. He waited just long enough for the rumor to explode before pulling the rug out from under everyone. That move not only proved he's still here, but also reminded the streets that even when they think they've got him cornered, Lul Tim always finds a way to flip the narrative back in his favor. The chaos that followed that fake news really showed how deep people are locked into this beef. When Lul Tim shut the rumors down and proved it was all cap, Von's fans were heated. They felt played. Folks were mad at themselves for believing the story so fast, realizing they let emotions take over before checking the facts. But what's really wild about all this is how deep the psychological side of this beef runs. Lul Tim been playing mental chess with OBlock for years now. That fake news moment, just another piece in his long game. By staying loud and visible, always trolling, always dropping new content, Tim's been keeping OBlock's mind on him nonstop. Every track he releases, every post he throws up, every time he pops out in public, it's a reminder that he's still here, still living life, while Von's people are left holding that pain. That kind of mental pressure can push anyone to make desperate moves, but the way Tim's handling it is risky too, real risky. Instead of ducking off and laying low like most people would after all that street drama, he's done the opposite. He's made himself a bigger target, daring people to come for him while he stays in the spotlight. It's like he's mixing survival instincts with taunting, and somehow it's working for him so far. The fake news situation showed just how emotionally tied people are to this war. The fact that thousands instantly believed and even celebrated a story about Tim getting shot says everything. This beef isn't just something people watch from the sidelines anymore, they're living it. The line between real life and online hype keeps getting thinner, and every new twist just pulls the streets and the fans deeper into it. OBlock members probably saw that fake news too, and if anything, it was a reminder that the streets are still watching, still waiting on them to make a move. The pressure on them to get revenge for King Von isn't just coming from their own block anymore. It's global now. Fans from all over been calling for justice, and that kind of weight adds a whole different level of heat to the situation. The truth is, This feud between Lul Tim and OBlock ain't slowing down anytime soon. Tim's been moving carefully, switching up locations, staying surrounded by security, and trying to stay 2 steps ahead. But OBlock's energy hasn't faded one bit since 2020. They still locked in on that same mission, still waiting for their chance to get their get back. What makes this whole thing even more dangerous is how public it's become. Street beefs used to stay in the shadows, but this one's been playing out in front of millions. Every diss track, every Instagram caption, every tweet adds more pressure, more tension, more eyes. The fake news about Tim getting shot showed just how badly people want to see this all come to an end. One way or another, King Von's fans been waiting for justice, and OBlock's been waiting for their moment. But the longer this keeps dragging on, the messier and more dangerous it gets for everyone involved. And even though Tim might feel untouchable right now, thinking he's outsmarted everyone for years, the streets don't forget. OBlock's memory runs deep, and they're not the type to just let something like that slide. They're watching, they're patient, and they're still waiting for the perfect time to make their move. It feels like only a matter of time before something real happens. And when it does, it won't be another round of fake news blowing up on Twitter. The fact that OBlock members were willing to risk their freedom back in 2022 proves they're not bluffing. They're really about that life. They're not gonna let Lul Tim keep disrespecting King Von's name without payback. They've made it clear, this isn't talk, it's principle. This whole saga is the perfect example of how street beef can spiral completely out of control. What started as a split-second decision outside a hookah lounge turned into a years-long war that's been unfolding in front of the entire world. Lul Tim might have dodged last night's rumor mill, but that doesn't mean he's safe. The real danger's still lurking out there, quiet but heavy. The fact that people were so quick to believe he got shot just shows how thick the tension still is. King Von's death left a massive hole in OBlock, a wound that never healed, and Tim's nonstop trolling keeps reopening it. Whether he truly believes he's untouchable or he's just putting on a front for the cameras, everyone knows how stories like this usually end in the streets. OBlock's pride runs deep, and their loyalty to Von is unshakable. They're not built to let something like this slide forever. On the flip side, Tim's pride and ego won't let him fall back either. He keeps pushing buttons, daring fate, and testing how far this can go. The street's been watching this play out for years now, and everybody knows it's not over. Tim can keep posting hat emojis and trolling all he wants, but that doesn't change one solid truth. There's still a target on his back, and the clock's still ticking. OBlock ain't the kind of crew that just forgets about their fallen soldier. Not a chance. So yeah, last night's rumor might have been all cap, but the real situation, it's still active and alive. Lul Tim might be laughing it off now, posting emojis and trolling online. But in the streets, the last laugh only belongs to whoever's still standing when the smoke clears. And right now, both sides still got heavy smoke for each other. The street's been waiting on this moment since 2020. Years of tension, loss, and revenge talk. And even though last night turned out fake, it proved something big. When the real moment finally comes, the whole hip-hop world's gonna stop and watch. Every camera, every fan page, every timeline will be locked in to see how it ends. Until then, Tim better keep his head on a swivel, cause OBlock ain't done, not even close. This beef ain't ending with no fake Twitter rumors or online flexing. It's gonna take something real to close this chapter for good, and everybody knows it. If you're keeping up with this wild story, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Let's talk about what you think might go down next.